of Grim Walkthrough to another episode of their story, part of the Derverse. I'm the Spine, and this is episode 2. Wait, another part, and this is episode 2, and I just completely messed this up. I'll leave it in. Okay, by the way, episode 2, the Derverse timeline overview. I'm the Spine, and let's continue. Well, talking, I should can do the overview, shouldn't I? I should leave the critique from last time. I should leave the discussions about probable games and what it could maybe not really do later. But anyway. So yeah. Alright, by the way, so let's continue the actual timeline. Okay, so 2054 event. Start of Dur's first term. Wait. Of his president. Wait, let's begin. 2054 event. Start of Dur's first term of being U.S. president. Yeah, become president in the 2050s, by the way. I have no idea if this is. I have no idea if this is actually on schedule or not. If it's not, could I move it? No, I can't move it. I can make it earlier. I could definitely make it earlier. And then I move the event to the fall. Make the gap bigger for the fall, which we'll get to in a second. I can't make it much later though. But anyway, so I guess the obvious question is, why did he become president? Well, it's not because I didn't do enough. Like for example, like I would be at this point in time like some superhero. Like think Iron Man, but me, not Iron Man. Like Iron Man with my sensibilities, and stuff like that. Pretty much like that. I'll be a superhero, and also I'm also a person who actually sells his technology. Because to my knowledge, Iron Man doesn't sell his tech, or if he doesn't sell components of it, which I do too, but I actually sell my full tech. So like you'll see in like United States service or European service, like you'll see Spermal tanks, you see Auroras, just painted and maybe looking a bit different, like a cheaper version or a more specialized version, stuff like that. Like for example, the Israeli version has has like a higher capacity for the rail cannon, and it probably is actually built in because Israeli loving their guns because it's cheaper than using missiles. Which it's true. It's like you're shooting a soda can at people, not a hella expensive missile. And you're getting a similar effect, if not easier, because all you gotta do is point and press the fire button and it goes, and then you win. It's not a missile where you gotta lock on. It's locked, fire, it goes out there, the enemy panics, the enemy does something, and the missile tracks him and downs him, and you gotta wake up all seconds. It's not that. Shooting a soda can at Mach 25 gets the job done pretty nicely, especially when they're approaching it like Mach 3 or something. Or like Mach 2 or Mach 3. Oh, another thing I thought about the Aurora Mach 2 since we're on the subject. The Aurora Mach 2 and well, the Aurora series in general, besides the Aurora Mach 4, would actually fight a lot like a World War II heavy fighter. It would basically zoom in at Mach 5, fire its rail guns, which are moving at Mach 9. Its guns, not its rail cannon, if you have one. Basically down some aircraft and keep going. Don't stop, keep going. Turn around and do it again. Or because you're because you're likely because you're more likely to be more maneuverable, words, more maneuverable than those daddy raptors that you can actually they can actually pull off some. I forget the name. Pikachu's Cobra, where basically you just it's what I always do, where you slow down. Oh, actually, there's the other one, which is I forgot which one's which. I always forget which one's which. But basically, what you can do is actually slow down, tilt your nose up and then rock over and do a U-turn. Oh yeah, it's just called a J-turn. The something J-turn. All you gotta do is just do a J-turn and then get it from the back. Cause you're that maneuverable and you're wearing a heavy G-suit, so you can pull some insane G's with it. To maximum the aircraft. And then basically shooting it back, and then you just run. Aurora Mach 2s are going to be stealthy. They are going to be stealthy in their in their design. I don't know how stealthy though. How much I'm going to care. I would say a lot, especially since I have an AI and a super scientist working on it. So yeah, let's say they're insanely stealthy, and the paint that they use for heat is also stealth paint. Just because rub it in a bit, and you can get all sorts of different colors, not just that black, gray, or black. That bland gray or black. And then basically, once you attack them, you go, you get out of there. You are faster than they are. You just run. You hit the deck or hit the sky and run. And then you get out of there in Mach 5. Because let's say the Aurora Mach 2 can break the laws of physics and go Mach 5 everywhere, like you can in Ace Combat. Because in Kerbal Space Program, you can only go Mach 2 near the surface, and then higher up it goes Mach 5. The Aurora Mach 2D, that, my friends, can go Mach 3 on the surface, Mach 3 at sea level, then go Mach 5, and then go up faster than Mach 5, and then go like Mach 5 or faster up top. But that's on Kerbin. Kerbin is like Earth, but smaller. Like for example, escape velocity is a third of Earth's, so you are actually getting pretty up there in escape velocity at Mach 5. Um, like for example, you can't keep the Aurora Mach 2 pitch down in a Kerbal Space Program. It wants to keep escaping the atmosphere, or not escaping the atmosphere, but it keeps wanting to and keeps running up air for its engines, or engine, I should say, and yeah, pretty much like that. So like that's how the Aurora Mach 2 would work. It will actually dogfight. Hence why I have on my joystick or have on the joysticks of the Aurora Mach 2 at least default. If you're a pilot, you can customize it as much as you want. But it's the trigger is your guns, like back in the olden days. And the the fire button is everything else because you're using your gun so often. It should be like that. I may have thought that strategy because I've always thought of it that way. That the trigger is always guns, and then the button up top that's under the cover on joysticks, older joysticks. Modern joysticks don't have that handy cover because they're imitating the A10 joystick, which is sad. But the flip up cover, and then that's your missiles. But in real life, those are actually your guns, at least on some modern fighters. Which I didn't know that. But I still want to keep my old classic um, finger arrangement intact. Besides, it still only makes sense to me that the guns are on your trigger. It only makes sense to me. Uh, so yeah. But the reason why it's in the World Mach 2, if you give a canon reason, like watch having an acronym, is because it mostly uses its guns to dogfight, which, why would you want to do that? Well, ask an Israeli pilot. You understand why. Missiles are expensive. Bullets are inexpensive. If you get tons of bullets that are faster than their missiles, and you're faster than they are, you're going to just get your gun skills and enjoy being an Aurora pilot. So moving on to the next generation of Auroras, 2057, Green and Blue, Aurora Mach 4 Hex Tri Orbital Fighter, or OF, or OF, Space Aurora, Orbital Fighter. What is that, you might be wondering? I should be actually showing you the other ones. That is my good friends and families. That is once we get going, what you? Aha, that's you. It's actually this guy. Wait, that's my feet. What's it? It's on fire because it's trying to escape the atmosphere. Yeah, that's pretty much that. This, my friends, is the Aurora Mach 4. It is the last Mach of the Auroras, at least, on the Earth saga. Pending, everything's pending. Um, it is, my friends. Why is it called the Six Try? Well, this shows you why. Six because it has six engines, which are both jet and rocket engines, and it's a tri-wing. it's a tail trailing, as you can see, his tails. Why is it tail? Because the problem with flying wings, from what I found from making one of these guys, is because of their absurd tendency to flip when stalling. Since all my strategies rely on stalling, I need to have a tail in order to prevent from flipping. And what I found with a high performance fighter, um, high performance fighter, such as not the Royal Mach 4, but it's a fighter. Well, fighter as the Royal Mach 4 is the fact that if you fly it just right, it actually goes into a flat spin because there's nothing in the air or there's nothing on your plane preventing the air from just slipping over your aircraft and never allowing you to regain flight. It's just terrible. Adding tons of vertical stabilizers that act as horizontal stabilizers because the angle makes sense. And also you might be looking at this and noticed a pattern on it. And just tons of intakes, but also oh yeah, this is in stratosphere. Also, this thing is ridiculously slow. It only goes Mach 2. It can get to space by going Mach 2 because it flies into the stratosphere, and then once in the stratosphere, it does cut from this image. It basically points straight up. Actually, I think we're going to it. It points straight up. Actually, unless we're in orbit. It points straight up and activates its rocket engines and goes straight into the atmosphere. And that's why everything is what's a good image. Yeah, I mean all these are good, but if you notice the pattern, it's completely symmetrical. If you're wondering why is that, because in space, my dear friends and family, is when you're going vertical and you have your big tail facing this way, you got your horizontal fins. Your craft is going to do that. It's going to pull backwards because of the weight, because it's 0G. Imply engine burn, it's worse. So if you're making a fighter meant to go into space, what you should be doing is making something that's symmetrical, so it can go in space and be happy. Um, like dual maneuvers, do what you want to do in space, and not to worry about dealing with off-center mass. And plus, it looks really cool, and it just works. Problems with gear, but it's a couple of space programs, so give it that. That's why I didn't want. That's why I didn't want to do this episode last time. But yeah, that's something. Am I right? I'll be getting to doing. Sorry, I'll be getting to do. I'll be getting to. I'll be getting to the doing the Royal Mach 2 and the Royal Mach 2D. And almost current. Cool. That's room theory. Sorry. And give you a full overview of both aircraft. I'm maybe starting a new series where I do like a showcase, like I'm used cars, I'm role playing myself in the Derverse selling these vehicles. By the way. Oh, and by the way, President, you may be wondering if I am the head of a company. Isn't that frowned upon as being president? Yes, you're right. I would step down as owner of the company, let my people elect someone as president, and elect someone as owner of the company for right now, and I'll be full-time president, and that'll be that. Leading into the Royal Mach 4 being designed by committee, it would like we needed a new Aurora. There has not been a new Aurora. There's not been a new Aurora since the Royal Mach 2. Well, the Royal Mach 3. That was 3 decades ago. They've been upgraded to all engine back, and they will continue to be doing. They'll continue to do so for thousands of years because these designs are that good. Like they will be made. I mean, they won't be. Maybe they'll be. Maybe they're all made to go to space. Actually, yes, it is going to be made in space. It's not gonna be a Royal Mach series. It's gonna be something else that looks like that looks like an Aurora for classic sci-fi purposes, and also for fun, and also it's a good design. Um, but yeah, like for example, this be Mach 2 through C at this point. And then the Intercontinental Fighter, which everyone agrees does its job and only its job by what an Intercontinental Fighter looks like. I don't really think I can get to the screenshots right now. But I don't know where they are anyway. Um, it's like it's actually it's an Aurora Mach 2 with two Rapier engines off the back. so it can switch between jet and air, with four vertical intakes, to get extra air in. I probably need to design a different one because that design's not very good. It's very top heavy. It works for going suborbital, but it's very, very top heavy. I definitely need to redesign it. So that could be like the one I have currently could be a concept plane. You can look at that in the I made it in the Monolith Hunter series. Like, not in Monolith Hunter, but in Cool Expeditions. I forgot which. I think my most recent series I made it in. But look up the Aurora Mach 3 Hyperfighter and you'll find it. So that could be like a concept for this. I'm not happy with that concept. For putting it into my fiction. I am all sorts of love with my Aurora Mach 2. It's gonna be internalized in this. I'll be able to look very differently. It's gonna look stealthy. It's gonna look not curable. But yeah, its tail's gonna be accurate to a hypersonic aircraft, and it's not gonna be gigantic. It's gonna be still big, but it's not gonna be that. You have taller wheels for that reason. It's still gonna have four wheels because it needs it and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, so basically the Aurora Mach 4 was designed by committee. Was really the first big project Green and Blue did without me in it at all. And it's an insanely good aircraft. It's really slow and lumbering because it's like 140,000 pounds. The Aurora Mach 2 is 40,000 pounds. Yeah, it's big and lumbering, but it's a space plane. It's an actual, honest to goodness space plane. You can take off horizontally and fly into space. It's a space plane that can go in orbit. It's a one stage orbit, horizontal takeoff. It's the holy grail of aircraft. How did I do it? Well, the wings helped. Basically, making it a tri-wing helped. So much wing surface, they can just glide into space with the 6 engines. Like you can't take off like you can't go into space vertically, but I can go into space horizontally. Which, yeah, could that happen in real life? I want to say if it can happen in a global space program, there's a high chance of if you make a tri-wing in real life and add like Rapier engines to it, add some sort of engines that can switch between air breathing and space breathing, or not breathing, you could probably fly into space. You could probably. So we'll see. I mean, we'll be the first time science fiction became science fact like that. But yeah, I mean, like all science fiction is based off of someone else's theories, after all. Um, so yeah. So yep, that would be cool if you could actually do it in real life. I don't know. It works in a couple space program. That's good enough for me. Yes. What I described to you, it does in a couple space program. A big smile on my face, by the way. So moving on to 2058 event. Star of their second term as U.S. president. And then 2059, Green and Blue, Aurora Mach 2D Hyperfighter. I took that name from the Aurora Mach 3 because the Aurora Mach 2D is so overkill as a hyperfighter. It's just insanity. Like for example, the Aurora Mach 2's aging. Everyone now has some sort of hypersonic fighter, which is actually as good as the Aurora Mach 2. So now you're having hypersonic dogfights, where people are just zooming past each other and pretty much having. Oh, geez, another medieval reference, making Green and Blue seem like a kingdom, making this seem like a neo medieval time. But anyway, I didn't. That's not intentional, but right now thinking it'll be like jousting, because what you're doing is you're approaching each other at hypersonic speeds, using your AI and your just human intuition to basically cloud each other's path with railguns. With railguns. Or using lasers too. People could be using lasers at that point, because getting hit by a laser at that point, even though you need seconds to kill an aircraft, you don't need them. You can just burn them a bit, mess with their trajectory, and even lower structural integrity, just enough for them to burn up on their own if they have a cheaper design. Like Aurora Mach 2s don't get killed by lasers easily; they can take the thermals. But if you have a cheaper Chinese design, you just need like a touch with a whiff of laser, and then you get a hole, and then they start burning up at hypersonic speeds. They have to slow down. Any Unity member that would have such issues? I don't think so. No. Actually, maybe France, maybe the European Union would have some issues like with that. Like let's say that I do with America is just a pure tank. It's a pure tank, really fast, but runs out of ammo instantly or something like that. And then basically like there's hypersonic jousting dogfights, which are still missiles involved, but you're only using missiles at extreme range when you first approach each other. There is no sitting there tapping your finger against the console and firing a missile, lock on, fire a missile, lock on, fire a missile. Like the days of that are long gone. That was World War Three, World War Four. Like in the modern day, in the modern day in the 2040s and 2050s, that way of war is long gone. And of course, there are little skirmishes every now and then that you hear about in the news one day, and next day you hear it's over, something like that. So like these hypersonic lance fights, um, they go past each other, then they turn around a couple of miles and then pass each other again. And then there'd probably be more strategies like coming up low, going up high, stuff like that. Still using your aircraft to the extreme, and then maybe if like an Aurora or actually let's say the American fighters can't turn, but the European fighters can turn up a storm, and the Dawn Unions. Oh man, their fighters can do nothing but turn. They're slow, but they can do nothing but turn. Slow, have a weaker cannon, but they can just turn you to death. So basically, what a Dawn Union fighter would do is basically you're approaching them, and what they would do is rush by you at their slower speed. Turn, brake, do a J turn, and then get on your tail, and then just keep you in a dogfight. That's all they're gonna do all day. And because you're maneuvering at probably supersonic speeds at this point, taking using your G gel to your maximum advantage, just pulling all those G's. Um, try not to become your seat. You basically fight in a high speed dogfight. Um, and then maybe if you get really lucky, you can hit with a missile. Um, and like in the Derverse, they don't have the magical missile bays of Ace Combat where you can fit like 90 of them in 90 of them in your aircraft. Like for example, the Royal Mach 3 has 6 because of how long it is. It has 2 up front, 2 in the middle, 2 up back for heat seekers or what have you. Like for example, you can fit longer missiles in the back, heat seekers up front, and then it has an underbay like the F-22 does, and then I can fit the more specialized munitions or the rail cannon. And like the rail cannon's also what you use for long range dogfights or just ending a dogfight. And which by the way, it's a 3-second hold on the fire button. So basically you put the finger on your fire button, it goes. You let go, it makes a beep, and then the rail cannon fires, and then you win pretty much. It's your win button, but you have to keep it on target the entire time. If not, you're just gonna scare him to death. And probably go kill his cow somewhere in like the next country. Um, in like a minute later. But yeah. Oh, my timer stopped. Did I just stop my timer? I think I did. But yeah, so what you need is in 2059, Green and Blue by committee made the Aurora Mach 2D Hyperfighter, which it's the Aurora Mach 2 plus 2 engines plus 2 canard sets. Yes, yes. I have a picture. I have a picture. You must see the beauty, the handsomeness. That is the Aurora Mach 2D. That's not the Aurora Mach 2D. Actually, I think it's beyond. Bam, 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 bam. Ignore. Thumbnails. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Aha, the Aurora Mach 2D. Oh, by the way, did I mention this thing has a global range? Yeah, this was me. As you can see, I was approaching KSC from the west. I just got back here from launching an hour ago. I didn't fly around for an hour. I am descending from the stratosphere. Yeah, this was designed by committee in the canon. I mean, it makes me so proud that Green and Blue can design this aircraft without my help. Um, I I've raised them so well, you know. They grew up. Okay, ignore that. They grew up so fast. They grew up so fast. Okay, where's a good front picture? Yeah, that works. Yeah, it's just this thing is like this is what you oh there oh Albert Canards. Oh, actually, no, I was testing canards. Like the hardest thing about designing this aircraft, I also designed this like 30 minutes, just like the original. It took me forever to align the canards right. And this is me turning. This thing maneuverability is just insanity. There you go. Actually, oh wow, this is the original model. I've added 2 more canards. Got any photos of it with more canards? I don't think so. Yeah, it has these 3 canards. Yeah, it's just like that thing. If you want to not be going at the, if you don't want to be not going the direction you were going, you flip the stick back and then you're going the opposite direction. And that's a Kerbal Space Program, a rocket game where it's insane how to change your trajectory. The Aurora Mach 2D does not care. It will flip backwards. It will pull 16 Gs. It does not care. Um, yeah, that is what the GJ was designed for when it was designed for the Aurora Mach 2. The Aurora Mach 2D is what the Aurora Mach 2 should have been in Kerbal Space Program, but more maneuverability. Like the Aurora Mach 2 has a third of a rules range, the Aurora Mach 2D has a global. The Aurora Mach 2 has super maneuverability. The Aurora Mach 2D has hyper maneuverability. Such things don't exist in modern wording. I had to invent a word. Hyper maneuverability. Super maneuverability is what the Raptor has. Imagine what the Raptor can do, but turn it up 11 notches and add insane combo bonus to it. That is what you get. And also, you know, it goes Mach 3 at sea level because that's balanced. I mean, the thing about Derverse is nothing's meant to be balanced. Everything's meant to be balanced in the fact that if you're overpowered, everyone will send millions of people after you just to kill you, and they will kill you with millions of people eventually. Like you'll have challenged by the fact that they will spam you to death. They will drown you in their blood to kill you. You walk into a level 1 world with 60, the level 1s won't come at you with 1 person expecting you to die like some petty starter outer. Oh no. In the Derverse, they will send their entire army, their entire global World 1 army after you, and you will die. They will chip your health off slowly but surely. They don't care if you one shot them and their friends. They will kill you in the Derverse. The universe will try to kill you eventually for being overpowered. Um, you just think to your toes. Like for example, how do you kill Spermwell, which is going to overpower any other tank? You spam tanks. You grab a gigantic gun out of the closet and stick it onto it and stick it on the treads and call it a shark. You call it Megalodon. That's what you're going to do. You bomb it from orbit. You spam it with infantry and hope to get its engine deck open. That is what you do. Um, that is what you do. Uh, you kill a mountain and drop it on top of it. You try to sink it. Uh, you basically spam it to death. What you do is put it into a valley, mine it, and if that doesn't kill it, you throw in all your cheapest soldiers and you drown it in your blood, or drown it in their blood. And that's what you do to kill Spermwell. To kill someone in power armor, you go grab yourself an anti-tank rifle, or an anti-tank rifle, an anti-tank missile, because if should they be verbal to 50 kills? No, they're not verbal to 50 kills. They're 2 shots from 50 kills. 1 shot goes to the armor, 1 shot goes to your heart. You're 2 shots to 50 kills. you need like they're walking tanks, but they're still people. You can kill them. It's just how many dudes does it take to kill one woman in power armor? A lot. And that's assuming it's not Lux for armor. Like banal. But yeah. And then I mean, if it's Luck and power armor, you lose. It's automatic. You lose. You just get your rolls will just be so terrible that you lose. She'll always auto roll you until you run until you get a one. She doesn't care if she's there for 30 minutes. Letting you reroll your dice. She will let you reroll your dice until you get to a one because she's like that. Because she's luck. Don't believe me? Read disc roll. That's what she's like. Look, smiles. By the way. So yeah, that'd be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I need to get this video official title for Air War. Like for air tactics in the 2040s. Um, yeah, I mean, I might as well do that. I might as well make a video air tactics in the 2040s. That'd be cool. Air tactics in the 2040s servers. Subtitled when everyone's going hypersonic when everyone's going hypersonic stealth and has super maneuverability. Let's say, yeah, pretty much that. Like a raptor would be cannon fodder. No, what would be cannon fodder? Look, that's being rude. A raptor would be a medium. It would be sitting there watching the giants murder each other, and it will sit there and watch. It has a missile lock. Actually, one of missile lock. They're all stealth. It will jump in the fight and hope to survive. Raptors can hang with Aurora and its compatriots, other Gen 6s. It's that absurdity. And let me remind you, I made the Aurora Mach 2 in 30 minutes. When I was when I started my channel, pretty much. I'm not when I started my channel, like second year of my channel. It's like 2013. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah, it's just no. It's just no. The Aurora Mach 2 is just no. Um. Oh, by the way, I should mention that the Russians now want to make a Gen 6 hypersonic super maneuverability fighter. They probably watch these videos, or just part, or talking to someone who's part of Unity or can get into our systems or something. Um, just saying. I'm watching you, Russia. I'm watching you. Who do you think sank your ship? It was us. By the way. Like that random glitch in your system. Who do you think it was? Okay, I'm kidding. Mostly. But anyway, especially when I know a goddess of luck. Just say. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyway, KGB's going to be at my door next. In like 5 seconds. Okay, by the way, even though it's pre-recorded, forget about that. Alright, by the way. Alright, so that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and, yeah. I really want to I really just want to take that part and just make it into some video right now. I want to finish this time. I should finish this time. Like, first, don't get distracted. Don't get ADD'd. Okay, by the way, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Do appreciate watching on this video. It means a lot to me. Or else, let me if you were to subscribe to my Patreon. I'm doing so for my livings and my channel, and to afford ventures such as this, or adventures such as this, sidetracks. Because right now, my channel is gaming, but I want to do stories like this. And I want the Derverse to, well, be big, if I'll be honest. I want to have I want to have what I enjoyed in my childhood to let everyone else enjoy at any age. And help contribute to this universe I'm building. If you have any ideas, like for example, what do you think a reaction to the war might be like from a different country, or different country or region. Like for example, in America, what would you think a reaction to the Royal Mach 2 would be? Um, no, what kind of aircraft do you think it would be? Well, you think they will completely derail the project they're making to work with I forget what the bomber's called, but basically the El Cheapo, or basically the affordable price B2 bomber, hyper long range B2 bomber. I forget what it's called, but they're making a fighter for it. Like, would you think they would still go along with it, or do you think that they would completely derail it in order to build an Aurora, or do you think they'll just buy Auroras off of us? Which is the entire plan. The original idea of Green&Blue was to work buddy buddy with America. but work with other people as well. Like America can't be like we're not gonna be exclusive to America. We ain't gonna be no exclusive to no console, no single console. We think we're crazy. But anyway, so and then like these, what kind of fighter do you think Germany would make? Russia, China, France, stuff like that. You think like Russia and China would immediately get together and make a super fighter to combat the Aurora Mach 2? Because I'm not going to sell them that. Are you kidding? I'm not going to sell it to China. China's just going to copy it. The Russians aren't even falling for that trick anymore. Um, but Russia, what did I sell to Russia? No, because they invade friendly countries like Ukraine. No, I'm not selling them anything. Um, European Union. Oh yeah, I'm definitely selling it to them. Like for example, which European countries do you think would buy on Aurora Mach 2? And stuff like that. How do you like? What do you think in America or the rest of the world would reaction would be to someone who has done all these different things, participated in a world war on the sidelines in the action, kind of, who's not in the military, suddenly coming in and being your president? Like, how do you think that reaction would be? Especially in Russia and China, or to people who or to people that believe if you're not 100% American, as in I've been living on an island off the coast of Florida for a while, which is not in American territory. I have a company which rivals America on the global stage, which is also a country. That's inside of other countries. I mean, yeah. How do you think people react to someone like that running for president, being president, and stuff like that? Like any ideas and any ideas and what you think and what you think things would be like for people in the universe using your experience, and stuff like that. Or if you have something really cool that you would like in the universe, like for example, an idea, like for example, the sperm whale super heavy, the sperm whale super heavy, main battle tank is obviously it is my version of a mammoth tank. It is that simple. Um, and then Watch is my version of Eva, and stuff like that. The MBC is obviously an MCV. So if you have any ideas of, I mean, it's gonna look completely different. Like I'm thinking they'd be just big and tall, like they'd be very boxy. Um, but anyway. Alright, so anyway, that'd be it for us today. Thanks for watching. If you can support me on Patreon, being my watching on YouTube is more than enough. It's more than amazing on its own. Thank you all. Take the time to watch these videos. Love y'all. And thank every one of you who watch these videos, and the two of you decided to leave a comment. Thank you. Um, I really hope that this takes off and becomes my big thing, but we'll see. Alright, so anyway, that'll be the first video. And I worked really hard to get to that eventuality. But anyway. Like, for example, right now, I would feel terrible to take off right now because I'm not ready yet. When, like in a year from now, when I get when I get tons of playlists doing different stories, I mean, that would be good. But anyway, and just going over the universe in more detail. But anyway, that'll be the first video. Thanks for watching. And I guess see you. And it's